Manchester United are currently in an injury crisis with Lisandro Martinez out injured, Ugarte out injured, Toby Collier out injured, Kobbie Mainoo out injured. Like, the team is very dysfunctional at this current moment, and Amorim is going to be really frustrated. Now, listen, injuries are a part of the game, but I want to talk about in this video why Amorim must trust the youth. In a point where Manchester United were founded off youth, they bring in young academy players into the team. Beckham, Scholes, Giggs, back in like 30 years ago now. Till recent, bringing Rashford through, Kobbie Mainoo, Garnacho. Yes, the time might not be right, and I know Ruben Amorim has talked about protecting these young players because it is a pretty tough environment to come, and the pressure and the stress might be too much. But in this moment, as I said, where we don't really have many players available, we are very limited to what we're trying to do. We have barely any midfield. We're playing Casemiro in 2025 when he's just nowhere near good enough, and he's talking about he wants to stay at Manchester United. Like, it isn't good enough, and I think we have to be able to trust these youth players. I'm going to run through some players who I think can really thrive at Manchester United, their positions, their age, and how they're doing in the academy at the moment. But listen, that game against Spurs I was just crying out for someone. Surely Sekou Kone couldn't have done any worse than Casemiro. Surely Chidiyobi couldn't do any worse than what Højlund was doing in that game. Maybe Morehouse in that inside forward could have provided something that Garnacho wasn't. Like, as I said, I know Amorim is going to be wary and wants to protect these young players, but throw them in there because they can't be any worse than what we're currently seeing now. I'm going to go through some players. I'll probably go through about 3 or 4. The first one is Sekou Kone. Now, Sekou Kone, for me, he's a midfielder. He came from Gudaz, which is, I believe, an academy in Mali. A very, very technically good player in midfield. He's played a lot of games for the under-18s, the under-21s. More so the under-21s. He's a very technical midfielder. And I think in a game where you just need a bit of control, you need legs more than anything. Why not just give him a run out? He's a quality player, someone who's very, very good on the ball. Very smart, energetic. And he just offers something different. As I said, if Ugarte is out, if Collier's out, if Mainoo's out, we don't know how long they're out for. They may be out for the Everton game. I really don't want to see Casemiro in the team. I know we're missing Eriksen, but again, he's a similar profile. I think to Casemiro, but you look at Kone's strengths, they're so good on the ball, energy, tight spaces. That's why I think Amorim should use him. Now, the second one, Chidiyobi. Now, he's obviously dropped the Martin from his name, so it's Chidiyobi now. Listen, I think he's a very, very good player. He's 17. Obviously, it was a big deal when we bought him in from Arsenal. A very, very technical, good player. A striker. Got a really good shot on him. He's tall. He's got qualities, and I think, as I said, Højlund, Xerxes hasn't really been. I know Xerxes had a decent game, but Højlund wasn't doing well. I'm sure he can offer something different. We know he can score goals. He got a hat-trick on Wednesday. It was just about a week ago against Chelsea. Like, he scored numerous of goals in the under-18. And yes, that's totally different from senior football. This comes back to my point of just give these young players a chance. Yes, if he has a bad 15-20 minutes, he's a young kid. We're not going to criticise him. At least he's trying. Whereas if you bring him on for, what was it? I don't know if you know if he had a touch, like a minute he came on, literally. Like, what does that really show you? That you don't really have trust, you don't really have faith in these young players? I mean, at this moment in their career, they're still going to be playing with the under-18s, under-21s, as well as training with the first team with the injuries that we have. I think, why not just give him a go? Give him an opportunity. In Chidiyobi's case, he's played for Arsenal, he's played for Manchester United. I don't think he's quite ready for that next step. But again, he's another one now, another player. I'm not saying he should have came on against Tottenham, but Aiden Heavens, he's another one. Him and Lindelof were the only 2 players on that bench against Tottenham who have played a senior game. Aiden Heaven for Arsenal, and Lindelof already played over 180 games for Manchester United in the Premier League. Now, in terms of Aiden Heaven, I don't know how close he is to playing for the first team. He played with the under-21s against Fulham, which is interesting. He had a decent cameo, or a decent game. I think he played 45 minutes, so I did see clips, and I watched the full game, the first 45 in which he played, where he did look confident on the ball. He likes passing the ball, he likes receiving the ball, and he's a very good player as well. I mean, defensively, we do have injuries as well. Lisandro Martinez is out injured. I think, again, we need a left footer just for that balance. You can progress the ball as well. And I think giving Aiden Heaven an opportunity will make a lot of sense. Now, the next thing, another one, Harry Amass, again, 17. United are now worried about whether he'd be good enough to play, but in a position where we need we're crying out for someone with that quality. Give him a go. I know Dorgu had a decent game, but again, he's another young player. He wasn't deemed ready, but at this current moment, I don't think we have anyone else to kind of put in that position. Again, he's another one. Jack Morehouse, doing fantastically well in the academy. A very, very efficient ball carrier. Has a good shot on him as well, but very technical. Listen, the under-18s, under-21s are doing so well at the moment. They're flying, and there's so many more players. I can list them. You got Biancheri, who's a Welsh forward. Was at Cardiff City, now is in the United Academy. You have Lucille, someone who resigned from Crystal Palace. As I said, Aiden Heaven. There's Kukonki, 16-year-old player. You've got, I forgot his name, but he's a very, very good right back. There are young players coming through the academy, and as I said, in the moment where we have injuries, listen, let's go through the injuries. So we got Martinez out, we got Mason Mount out, and he's going to come back. Luke Shaw we got out, Ugarte is currently out, Collier's out, Mainu's out, Ahmad's out for the rest of the season. I forgot about him, that's a big injury as well. We're going to need some attacking options as well, and that's why I think giving Chidiobi, giving just other players an opportunity to show something, and it could work out, it could not, but at least we know we've given him a chance. That's what United have built upon. Rashford when he was 16, even Rooney when he came, he was only 16, I believe. So it's all about giving these young players the opportunity now. For me, the next big ones I think to come through, I think Chidiobi has some real potential, only 17. He's physical as well. I think Aiden Heaven as well, he's going to be part of that first team network, so that is a huge positive. Kukonki, we'll see what happens there. But listen, as I said, we don't know when the players are going to come back from injury. We just have to wait and see. I'll see if I'll check some news. But we know Ahmad's out for the rest of the season anyway. We know Cobby's out for weeks. It's just really on Ugarte, Mainu and Collier to see. Ugarte and Collier to see if they'll be back. Now let's see. I'll just check FootMob because they normally have roughly when the players are going to be coming back. So yeah, Ericsson, he was out obviously. He's a knock. I think he should be fine for this game. Yoro should be fine as well. But we have Ugarte, a muscle injury, so early March, so he could be out. Collier late February, so maybe you see Collier get a game. But the main thing for me, I just don't want to see Casemiro. I know he's probably going to start the next game. And he might have a decent game. I don't think his game was as bad upon reflection as it's made out to seem. But wow, like we need just some energy. And I think Sekou Kone for me as well. I forgot to talk about him as one of those next players. He is very, very talented. Again, these are the sorts of players Christopher Vavel and that sort of scouting network is very, very used to signing. These sort of young and up-and-coming talented young players. I think Sekou Kone certainly has that talent. He has the quality as well, more than anything, to be a top Manchester United player. But I'm going to leave it there. For me, Amorim must trust the youth. We're in a point of difficult moment, and maybe a few of them will have some good cameos, and then you keep them around that first team network, allowing them to grow and develop. I mean, we've seen it with Collier. He's a perfect example. He came through under Amorim, really played a few games under Ten Hag, but Amorim was starting to give him that chance before he got injured. So let's see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like, comment. But yeah, there's some very, very good players in the academy right now that Amorim must look to, because we do have lots of injuries. Thanks for watching, and peace.